This is a story of betrayal, a web of deception, and a Fitbit worn to expose a murder. It was a normal morning in Connecticut until a 911 call shattered the calm. A woman had been shot. The house was in disarray. The husband tied up. The attacker gone, or so he said. But what he didn't know was that the woman's Fitbit was still counting her steps, and that silent witness was about to expose a lie so perfect it almost worked. In April 27, 2015, a frantic call to 911, Richard Dabate claimed a masked intruder broke into their home, killed his wife, Connie, and tied him up in the basement. He painted a scene of chaos, gunfire, a home invasion, a fight for life. But police noticed something didn't add up. There were no signs of forced entry, no stolen valuables, and Connie, she was shot, execution style. Detectives began digging deeper, and they found cracks in everything, Richard said. Outwardly, Richard and Connie were the perfect suburban couple. Two young kids, a beautiful home, stable careers. But beneath the surface, Richard was living a double life. Investigators soon discovered he was having an affair, and not just any affair. His mistress was pregnant, and the due date just weeks away. Suddenly, the motive became clearer, but they still needed more than suspicion. They needed hard proof, and that's when technology spoke. Connie was wearing a Fitbit that morning, a tiny piece of wearable tech that turned into a key witness. According to Richard, Connie had returned home at 9 a.m. and was shot moments later. But a Fitbit told a different story. She was still walking around the house at 9:20 a.m., even posting on Facebook, sending texts. Her steps were counted over 1,200 after the time Richard claimed she was already dead. That one detail blew his story wide open. Police began reconstructing the timeline minute by minute. They pulled cell phone records, email logs, alarm system data, GPS records from the car, surveillance footage also. Everything pointed to one conclusion. Richard had planned the murder and tried to stage it as a break-in gone wrong. He drove Connie's car to a club that morning, then returned to set the scene. He even burned himself slightly to make it look like a struggle. but his lies couldn't stand up to the quiet, unblinking eye of tech. In 2017, 2 years after the murder, Richard Dabate was arrested for his wife's murder. His defense, the intruder theory, his wife's tech data, coincidence, he said, misread, glitched, but the jury did buy it. The Fitbit combined with digital records painted a timeline that Richard could not explain. The motive, the affair, the pregnancy all fit together too perfectly. In May 2022, Richard was convicted of murder, tampering with evidence, and making false statements. This case became one of the first in US history where wearable tech was used as a forensic evidence in a murder trial. The Fitbit didn't just track steps, it tracked lies. Richard thought he had covered every detail, but in an age of constant surveillance, the smallest device in your pocket might just be the loudest voice in the courtroom. Connie didn't get to speak, but her footsteps did. If you think technology is neutral, then think again. In the hands of justice, it speaks, and sometimes it screams. Connie Dabate's story reminds us that even in death, truth can walk forward. This was Sin 60. Subscribe for more stories where silence is shattered and secrets are never safe.